All right, August 13th from Justin to Cully. Justin, what is this? Is this like our second week doing this? What do you think about the chemistry of this show?
It's like our third week or so.
Yeah. You know what it throws me off a little bit is that like I can't physically see you.
We're not looking at each other.
Yeah, like I'm covered by this computer. You can't see me, so it's weird. But whatever. That's just stupid little complaints. All right, today's show. I was on edge yesterday a little bit because Kirk threw at us on Wednesday that he wanted a surprise guest. That can go, as you know, that could go in so many different directions. Like mind fucked the shit out of me.
Yep. I think you had a funny point where you're like, yeah, we reached out to Ellen Carabas. He's like, yeah, that would have been a
correct. Yeah.
30-second show. Would have been like, oh, how's it going, Mrs. Carabas?
I sent you what? What did I send you? A list yesterday morning of like 10, 12 deep?
Yeah, about 12 people.
Yeah, and it was one of these things where you're trying to predict Kirk's reaction. There was a lot where, you're booking people and kind of taking you're okay with them, but if somebody else comes through, you end up canceling. So there's like a lot of things going on at once yesterday. I did think, I guess maybe I'm missing something. I thought the Lenny Keston thing could be like funny because I just figured they'd last like 30 seconds. But if they did it before, they did it before, right? If they talked to him during the trial and everything like that.
Yeah, I kind of get where Kirk's coming through. He doesn't want to go through. I mean, we're already on to like another lawsuit. So.
Yeah, on to the next one.
Yeah.
The one that I wanted the most, actually, I wouldn't even say wanted the most. I had a couple random ideas. Was Kirk's high school basketball coach. I just thought that's just one of those conversations that could go in so many different directions, which is obviously the history, the sport, where are they now type thing. I thought that would have been a great one.
Yeah, I mean, anytime Kirk goes into like his old stories about like when he was pre quote unquote like pre in radio,
yep.
pre in the public life, I think those are always some of like the funniest stories, like the jerking off in the Suburban and stuff like that.
Yes, and like from his perspective, his old basketball coach, like comparing who Kirk was to now what he hears potentially on the radio or on podcasts would have just been funny. But so we end up we had on RA, who's great. I thought they were great. I knew like they would connect from the movies and television standpoint.
Yep.
I obviously I know Kirk's not a hockey guy, but I just thought they could kind of go off into different tangents, and I thought it was a great interview. I thought they both did good.
Yeah, I came out like an RA fan. I don't listen to Spittin' Chiclets. I don't know much about it, but like to hear his story about how like he was like just custodian.
Yep.
About how like he had to keep that job for like benefits and everything like that while they built the Spittin' Chiclets brand.
Yes.
Is just it's very interesting and like good on him.
Yes.
Like, comes out of it like so,meone who came from like nothing and now he is a part of, I don't know, like you said, the biggest podcast in Canada.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. And he's just a good guy. But two, I mean, the stories behind just the fact that he was at Barstool for like 10 years working for free. I mean, he's part of that whole history. He's kind of like part of that whole Milton Tough mentality. So, and just to see where they've come is crazy. In terms of specific topics that they got into, I mean, me being a hockey guy, it was interesting to hear him talk again because I kind of forgot about it, was the Jeremy Roenick incident that they had.
Yes.
The only other, and I know Kirk was trying to get there, the only other controversy that I thought of kind of way later and they were already moved on.
Was the guy who said he'll never come on Spittin' Chiclets?
That was the Gord Miller one. Didn't he call him an asshole during this quick?
Yes.
Gordy Miller. I couldn't remember the context of that until he said the name. I was going to Google it, but I can't. Do you remember what he said? There's got to be a story behind what he said there.
Someone asked him on Twitter and said like, hey, would you ever come on Spittin' Chiclets? And he was like, absolutely not.
Oh, was that it? I thought there was more of like an NHL storyline angle to that, but yeah, then he deserves the bullshit. The only other one I was thinking about was, I think Chiclets was sensitive to, or maybe they got in a little hot water, just probably on social media, about like Tuukka Rask and his Boston police hat. I think that was like, they addressed that a little bit.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I thought that, it definitely was not Roenick-esque, but that's the only thing. They haven't gotten in a lot of trouble. They've changed through the years because when they first started, I mean, not even when they first started, Biz, when he first joined, was talking about hooking up with chicks and all this stuff. And now they're just so big that like even going to that place, it just isn't worth it for them right, anymore. And you got an alcohol brand behind you, and Biz in his personal life is, dating someone long term. So they've evolved as a show. So it was just kind of interesting to get some of the background.
Yeah, I think RA was great. I would like to see RA and Whitney on with Kirk, because I feel like I feel like those guys are just one of those people who like Kirk said, like they love busting balls. They have great chemistry together. And like, while Whitney's incredible by himself and RA's good by himself, like together, I feel like it's just like just to hear them like kind of go back and forth with Kirk kind of like moderating it.
Yep.
I think would be great. Like, I think if Kirk asked that question about like the
Well, you could
the Pink Whitney.
Yes.
When with like if Whitney was there and RA was there, I think that could lead to something.
There's a little uncomfort there, right? The contracts. Most people don't ask other guests about their contract situation, and you could just tell how uncomfortable RA, in a smart way or whatever. He was uncomfortable with that question. But even I think I think Ryan was a little uncomfortable when he got kind of a relationship question from Kirk about RA when he was in studio. Wasn't there some question he was asking about, like, do you make more than RA? And I don't know. He didn't answer it like with the utmost confidence, I don't believe, right?
Yeah, well, I'm just assuming that Ryan didn't want to come out there and be like, yeah, well, because the answer is, of course, I make more than RA.
Yes.
That's like the,
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if anyone makes more than Ryan Whitney. Like, I'm sure he might be like a top 5 paid person at
Yes.
Barstool. Might be like Big Cat, PFT, and then him in terms of salary. But yeah, he doesn't see neither of them seem to be like the kind of person who just want to come out and be like, hey, this is how much I make. Like Kirk said before, like there are some athletes out there who will be like, I don't need to do this. I've made $60 million in my career. Like I know Whitney will bring up that he signed like a $33 million contract or something like that, but he says a lot of that in like jest. He's not bringing that up to be like, I don't need to fucking be on the Kirk Minahan show. I've made $33 million.
Oh yeah, he's just a normal guy. He'll do it if he can, but he's probably not, and you shouldn't expect him to go out of his way. Like if he wants to play golf, let the guy play golf. You know what I mean? Like he earned those contracts. He earned what he has. I was just trying to think of it. Always comes up like the Dave fucking warship Spittin' Chiclets and that angle, and that's fine. I'm trying to think of comparison to how I view Grinelli, and I'm not coming off like a kiss ass. And you know how they call program directors now at EEI brand managers, and it comes off very douchey in radio.
Yep.
I don't look at Grinelli as just like a producer. I honestly think there's no better manager of the Spittin' Chiclets like entity than Mike Grinelli. Like I honestly don't. I think even their merch is like a style line. It's not just like buy a podcast T-shirt. I honestly think he's the best. Like when it encompasses the entire brand of what they're trying to do, I think he's the best in the game. And I'm not trying to kiss his ass. I think he's great at what he does.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know Spittin' Chiclets and I know of the brand. I love Pink Whitney. It's a great drink. But I don't know who Grinelli is.
Yeah, well, he's a producer and he's great at what he does. That's all. So I don't have to kiss his ass anymore.
But I've heard he's incredible from what Kirk says and everything like that.
And he's local, and Kirk brought that up too, is how his biggest allies seem to be the guys at Spittin' Chiclets, and they're all the guys that are familiar with him because he's local, right? Like Grinelli knows him, obviously he's local. RA and Witt are local. I don't think Biz knows, but I think Biz knows enough in the history, and he's Biz is. He knows basically all the players at Barstool anyway, and I think he likes the content of I know he listens every now and then. I've got that information, so they are good allies to have in the building. So, and obviously with RA today, they went into the movie stuff. They talked about kind of their favorite directors and things like that. After that, not too many other crazy topics. We talked a little bit on the Chap stuff. He wants to wait, which makes sense. Like, let's wait to see when we're all in studio and we can play the audio. But
to be fair, I hate Chaps. I think he's a fucking asshole. So I really do. He's like a putrid, what he did to Steve was such slimeball dog shit. But he'll hide behind.
I thought you guys worked through those issues. No,
I hate his fucking guts.
Technically, from the remote stuff, I'm happy to get it over with. Let's put it that way. It's just like remote just sucks. It just sucks. I don't know.
Well, get used to it, baby.
Yeah,
because I have a feeling, every 3 weeks it's going to be remote from now on.
But maybe over time, I don't know. Maybe he'd be willing, and
maybe he wants me to come with him.
Maybe he wants you to come. Does the joke of not caring about the audio to him wear off?
It's not a joke.
I know he doesn't care, but would he go the extra mile if he knows he's going to be away a lot more? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we can get there. That's a goal. All right. What else? Anything else going on? We both have some work that we're going to do this weekend and early next week for Saco. I think it's all set up. Like we said, I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm going to be focusing more next week just on the filming and editing. I think it should be funny.
Yeah.
It's either going to be very funny or it's going to be like, wow, Justin put a lot of effort into something that absolutely fucking sucks.
Which is what it is.
So
right?
yeah.
I said to you before the show, and we always try to think of ways to bring the listeners back into kind of the behind the scenes. I said to you before the show, it's almost the equivalent of Mike doing stand-up. Is that a crazy comparison? Because it's basically asking us to write an SNL skit that's going to be funny when neither of us have that history or whatever. It's a pretty big spot, don't you think?
Yes,
but we knew what we were getting into being a part of this show.
Yes, but the fact that it's not live, I think, plays a big thing into
Okay.
it. Like I think if I had to write something and then kind of perform it on stage, I would absolutely shit my pants.
So what's the difference though? Like, what's the difference with nobody's going to see it? I'll show mine to you. I'm sure I'll see yours, but like nobody else is going to know about it. What's really the difference?
Because I think like in the moment, like if I record something, you know, it won't be awkward at all when I'm recording it. And when I play it, I might feel awkward, but no one else is going to see that awkwardness. Meanwhile, Mike last year when he was doing stand up, you know, was like, now I flash my titties and say I'm fat. Haha, I'll fuck my mom. So
yeah. Did Kirk make fun of him live during the stand up set? Could Mike play off of it at all? Or like, did he not take advantage of that?
No, Kirk literally was just like, well, this is it. He laughed and then he just left to go and take a piss.
Okay,
and
so
Mike
see,
was up there like,
that is a fear for me. Like I would rather be up there, Kirk make fun of me, and me try to work off of Kirk. And if it gets worse, it's hopefully funny. But yeah, that's a tough spot if you're just like performing for 5 minutes straight. So
yeah, so we shall see. I wonder if Mike will be doing stand up at Saco.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe redemption for last year. All right, that's from Justin and Cully for August 13th. Okay.
One last thing I wanted to say. When you were talking, when Kirk brought up about like, oh, you know, Spittin' Chiclets is the only allies. The whole show is an ally at Barstool. I was trying to think of like what other shows at Barstool would you consider like 100% allies, and the only one I could really come up with was the Dave Portnoy show.
Oh, okay.
With which is a great ally to have. I mean, Eddie's
well,
a
then
big,
you might as well say token CEO there. Then.
See, but I think like behind the scenes people, token CEO aren't the biggest fans of Kirk.
Oh, okay. So, well, for Dave Portnoy show, then what do you got? You got Eddie. So we assume Eddie is.
You got
Eddie's
Eddie, Gaz.
Yeah. So
Portnoy.
but you're talking about behind the scenes people like producers. So now producers. Is Kareem an ally of the show?
Yes.
Okay, we're just guessing there.
I'm just gonna say yes.
I'm trying to
Kareem, if you're not, then
yeah, I don't know. Oh, is Spider involved in that show? There's some. Oh, Michelangelo. Do you know anything about him?
Kareem Spider?
Is Kareem Spider? I don't know. I don't know those two.
Oh,
or the one. I have no idea. But what about I always keep hearing Michelangelo. I don't know him.
yeah, I don't think he's an ally, but I don't think he's an enemy.
All right, but I kind of get your point. Either way, like the big players of the Dave Portnoy show and of Token CEO are allies, and Kirk's even said that before. Like,
yes.
Imagine that. Like all your allies are the people with the most power. So that's a good spot to be in.
Yep.
All right, we're out of here from Justin Cully, August 13th. The two of us will talk to you again after Monday's show. Kirk is back in studio. Remote is over. Thank God for that. We'll be back live Monday morning, 10 a.m. on the YouTube channel. Subscribe. Tell your friends to. Turn on notifications. Bang, bang, boom, boom. Justin, we're out of here.
Bye.